Thank you for waking up with Happy Ass, where we come together to grow in mind, body, and spirit so we can go out and make the world a brighter and sweeter place to live for ourselves and for others. Well, yesterday, if you went on to my Happy Ass Life, because every Monday we drop an episode, you found a bonus episode. And it's so funny. Ashley picked that one out, and oh my gosh, I needed to hear it. It was about rest and taking time for rest and slowing down and all that kind of stuff. And I think in the podcast I talked about how I was not that way anymore. Well, I could get that way very quickly. So I'm super glad I got to listen to that. So if you haven't heard that one, go back and listen to it. So I'm coming to you today live from my office, and I don't know if anybody's on here yet, but they will be, and then you'll get to see this on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Spotify, all those places. Thanks to my sponsors, and you'll hear more about them later, Beachy Beach Real Estate, The Final Touch Design, and Bay Tax. Those three organizations believe in what I'm doing. If you want to do that too, come on, give me a call. Love to promote your business on my Happy Ass Life. Okay. And we'll talk about these precious people a little later. So the thing I heard this morning, it was so cool. I don't know if you've heard of Martha Beck. She's amazing, amazing. And she was on the Ed Milet show. And she was talking about anxiety, and she was talking about the difference between fear and anxiety. Of course, fear is when we react to something and we're afraid of something, and it's a natural thing inside of us to keep us safe, right? But anxiety is when it just doesn't go away. You're just like, you're constantly like that. I am not an anxious person by nature. I told you that I was after COVID. I was very anxious. I had a lot of anxiety, but as a natural nature, I'm not very anxious. Okay. And anxiety does play a role in our lives. It does, because it sometimes keeps us from doing things we don't need to do, things like that. But when it's a constant, that's not good. And so Ed Milet asked her, what do you do about it? And she said, well, you use kindness. He said, use kindness. He said, okay, kindness is a universal solvent. You know what a solvent is? It is a universal solvent means that if you put it with something, it will like make it better. Now, that doesn't work for everything, but kindness ends up being that thing that you can put with yourself, give it to yourself, to others, and it just changes things. I just love that. And what she was talking about, she said, how would you be kind to yourself? How would you be kind to an animal if an animal's afraid? You would probably talk slowly, you would probably talk lightly, and you would be very reserved and calm and kind, right? And it would slow it down. When things speed up, it makes things anxious. If we slow them down, it helps things. I'm thinking we can do that with all parts of our lives. That's why I talk a lot about this in business, a lot. I believe in doing business in a kinder and softer and more gentle way. In doing so, I think we make life brighter and sweeter. So I just thought that was a cool thing. So Martha Beck, she's a great person to read. Please read her. She's just amazing. She does amazing works. I love her, love her, love her. But I heard something else that really hit me this week that I wanted to share with you. Got a few things. I got all kind of stuff a little tied up inside that I want to talk to you about today. So I am guilty of what I'm about to talk to you about. I am super guilty of this. And we say this as a joke, you know, but how many of you say to yourself, I'm a mess? I am a hot mess. Oh my God, you're such a mess. You are, you know, I'm guilty. I am super guilty of that. And I do it in a fun and happy and silly way. But what I'm saying to my wonderful, amazing computer of a brain is that I'm a mess. So I love this story. Brene Brown shares that one of her daughter's teachers called her one day and said, listen, I know you're a shame researcher. I didn't really quite ever understand it until today. So let me tell you what happened in the classroom. So your daughter was in the classroom, and she was that we were creating things, and we were using glitter, and the glitter exploded all over her. And she was just covered in glitter. There was glitter everywhere. And she said, I walked in the classroom as a teacher and I said, oh my gosh, you are a mess. And your daughter, without hesitation, said, I am not, let me make sure, I'm not a mess. I made a mess. Y'all, think about that a minute. I am not a mess. I made a mess. Okay. I believe that applies to all of us. We're not a mess. We just sometimes make messes. You're not unkind. Sometimes you just act in an unkind fashion. I think that if I really pay attention to the words I say to myself, to the words I say to others, to um, how I'm going about my life intentionally, I can change the whole manner of my being. I can just change it all. And I was thinking about all those things this morning because I've really missed coming to y'all live, and which is funny about this right now. There's not a single person on here with me. There's not one person. So y'all didn't know I was coming on live today. And so maybe some people will join in a minute. Maybe they won't, but this will go out, like I said, to Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all those places. But I was thinking this morning how the thing that brings me the greatest joy is sharing my heart with you, sharing the things that I know have made my life better and sweeter and simpler and just more divine, more God giving, more God lift. It's just all those things because I believe in my heart that those things, if we can do them, if we can grow, and be who we are meant to be, a divine, an amazing creation, we will end up becoming exactly what we're meant to be. I think we're designed for peace. I think we are. I think we're designed for peace. I think we're designed for growth. I think we're designed to be kind. And y'all, it is so easy. It is so easy. I know that when things happen to me, or happen around me, it's very easy to think, oh, this is happening um, to me. But so many times it's happening for me. It's happening for me. And you just have to trust that God is working things out in your favor. Because let me tell you something, nature flows beautifully, just beautifully. Don't have to push it, don't have to pull it. It just flows. But there's things that we can do to make it easier. And one is using kindness, is that universal solvent. And another one is to say, you know, I'm not a mess. I made a mess. And y'all, I make lots of messes, but I love making art too. I love being creative. I love making things bright and beautiful and happy. And I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to go show you a picture. So I decided I love to decorate. You know that. You go buy me two little beautiful pillows with lots of color, and I will just create the whole room out of those two pillows, right? So in my office, in one of my rooms today or yesterday, I know that a friend, one of Scotty's comedian friends, has come to stay with us on Thursday. And I had just thrown all the junk of my life into that room because I'd moved JJ into another room. You know how that happens. You fix it up and then you leave all your mess, right? And so that's what I did. So this room had all kinds of mess in it. Well, to create this room, because that's way more fun, I pulled all the mess out of the room and I started creating. And I would put one thing here, then another, then I'd pull it all together. And go, ah, this piece looks great here. And I just love fusing all the colors and the whimsy together. And I just get so excited, y'all. I get so excited about decorating. Just love, love, love working with color. And so, but I made it beautiful in there. I created a mess out there in the den. So I'm serious. On my page, I'm going to take a picture. And man, I may have already taken one picture. And I sent it to Christy and I said, showed her how pretty the other room was. I said, but here's the rest of the story. Here's what I created out here. So, I think we do that as humans. I think we can get things straight in one part of our lives and we just create a mess in the other part until we just keep working. And aren't you thankful that God is still working on you. God is still working on me. And we can fix those messes and we can learn from them. We can grow from them. And more than anything, let's just throw kindness on them. Be kind to yourself as you're becoming, as you're growing, as you're learning. Just do that. So let me stop for just a minute and tell you about the people that make this possible. So the final touch design, the precious, oh my gosh, y'all, listen, these people are amazing. They're people that you need to connect with and know. They're Skip and Marshall Wall. They're really close to my office and they do summer kitchens. They can just really, they tell you they can put the final touch on anything. My summer kitchen here at Beachy Beach was done by them, and they use this product called Nature Cast that literally doesn't rust, y'all, that doesn't corrode. I invite anybody, anytime to come look at my summer kitchen. It is gorgeous. They don't just do kitchens, they do bathrooms, they do kitchens, they do all kinds of stuff. So if you need help there, it will be in the show notes when this goes on to all the platforms. So please look for that. Another one, y'all, which y'all are going to crack up because y'all know money is something I'm working on right now. It's one of my affirmations. It's one of the things I'm trying to become more intentional about because I am not naturally gifted in the area of money because I haven't really cared about it. So therefore, I don't really pay attention to it. But let's face it, as a grown up, I've got to pay attention to it. So Brian Yormat with Bay Tax really educated me. And he's so kind, so lovely, so loving. And he came here and taught me about using cost segregation. There's some of you on here that are going to hear this. I'm telling you, pick up the phone, call Bay Tax. Do not think that just because your accountant is your accountant, they know about this. My accountant didn't tell me about this. I told my accountant about it. And it wasn't because I was smart. I listened to somebody else that was smarter than me, which happens a lot. Thank God. So Baytax, they're still doing this thing called ERC credits where you can get tax credits I got my first check the other day. Yay! It was so cool because I did not lay anybody off during the pandemic. We kept on going. So I got a little bit of money back. So that was so exciting. So please use these people. These people love me and believe in what I'm doing. They believe in Happy Yes. So please use their business. And of course, Beachy Beach is also a sponsor. And I'm so grateful that I have these sponsors. So y'all, I'm going to talk to you about a couple of other things and then we're going to go. But I want to tell you a few little funny stories. So you just never know what is going to light up somebody's soul. So I love color. I love to express myself in color. I love to be colorful. I love to act colorful. And so when I go places, I always dress. I dress up around my house, y'all. I get cute in my house all by myself. So I was at Walmart and I think it was really early and I was all dressed up and I thought I looked pretty cute. And and this a little girl had to be 2 years old. She is sitting in the buggy and with her mama, and she looked at me and she pointed at me and she said, "Mama, that little girl is taller than me." Y'all, I floated on that all day long. That little girl is taller than me. So she thought I was a little girl. And I looked at her and said, "Oh my gosh, you're my new best friend. Thank you for calling me a little girl." I thought that was so precious, made me so happy. So I think what I want to leave you with today is as we go about our day, just think about what we can do to brighten the life of somebody else. That's the whole point of happiness. That is the whole point of this podcast is to make life brighter and sweeter for ourselves so we can then use kindness and that universal solvent and pour it out on others with the things you say, with the things you do, just the way you show up for this one beautiful life that God has given you. So I'm going to give you an affirmation for the day. Let me make sure there's not anything else I wanted to tell you. Let's see. No, I think that's it for today. So today, our affirmation is just, I am capable. I am capable. Actually, we're more than capable. So here we go. I am more than capable to do and be what I'm designed to be. I have learned that kindness is the universal solvent for myself, and for others. When I use kindness to soften the edges of my life, it brings peace. And I was designed for peace. I'm designed to do only what I can do. I sometimes make a mess, but I am not a mess. The more I do what I'm put here to do, the happier and more peaceful I am. I am capable of an abundant life for myself and others, and so it is. Y'all, I just find that to be so true. When I'm sitting here with you, when I'm sharing my happy ass life, when I'm doing this podcast live, unfiltered, just with the thoughts just bubbling up from my soul, is the happiest that I am. Sharing with you the things that bring me peace, that bring me joy, that brings me love, that brings me light is my sweet spot. And I love you so much. And I hope you share this with others. Please, if you like this, go to my podcast, review it, like, love it, share it, whatever all the young people are saying, just review it. No cap. I don't even know what that means, but I heard my kids say it this morning. Y'all, I love you with all my mind, heart, soul, and body. Be sweet, y'all. Bye.